You know what it feels like to lose everything? Not just money, but your dignity, your home, your future? That's what my own siblings did to me. They didn't just stab me in the back, they twisted the knife, smiled while I bled, and left me for dead financially. But here's the thing about being underestimated, it makes the victory so much sweeter. Because by the time I was done, they weren't just broke, they were begging me for mercy. If you've ever been betrayed by family, by people you trusted most, hit that like button right now. Subscribe, because today's story isn't just about revenge, it's about reclaiming power, proving your worth, and delivering justice so sharp it cuts twice as deep. I grew up the quiet one in my family. My brother and sister were loud, ambitious, always competing for attention. Me? I liked books, business ideas, and keeping to myself. That made me an easy target. At every holiday dinner, every family gathering, I was the failure. My brother, let's call him Mark, would joke. Hey, maybe one day you'll invent something, like a way to pay rent without money. My sister, Claire, would laugh so hard she nearly cried. What they didn't know was that behind the scenes, I was building something. I poured everything into a small startup, late nights, ramen dinners, maxed out credit cards. For once, I thought maybe, I'd have something to finally prove them wrong. And for a while, it worked. The company grew. Investors showed interest. I was hopeful. But family betrayal hits deeper than a stranger's. When my parents passed, the will was supposed to divide the estate equally between the three of us. Nothing massive, but enough to stabilize my business. Mark and Claire knew this. They knew how badly I needed that lifeline. Instead, they tricked me. They pushed me into signing legal documents I didn't fully understand, papers that streamlined the estate transfer. Except really, it transferred everything to them. My share? Gone. My inheritance? Erased. When I realized what had happened, I confronted them. My hands shook, my chest felt tight, but I still asked. Why? Why would you do this to me? Mark smirked. Because you just waste it. You're not cut out for real life. Consider it a mercy. Claire chimed in. Grow up, little brother. This is business. You wouldn't last a month anyway. And the worst part? They weren't wrong, at least not then. Without that money, my business tanked. I lost everything. Apartment? Gone. Savings? Empty. Credit destroyed. I ended up sleeping on a friend's couch, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., heart pounding with a mix of shame and rage. That's when the shift happened. I remember gripping the edge of that couch one night, whispering to myself. They think I'm weak. They think they won. Watch me. Every insult, every smirk, every shred of humiliation, they became fuel. I studied law, contracts, and business like my life depended on it, because it did. I worked odd jobs by day, read case studies by night. Slowly, I built connections. Quietly, I laid the foundation for something bigger. It took years. But revenge is a dish best served with compound interest. Mark and Claire took my inheritance and used it to start their own family business, a flashy real estate company. They loved bragging about it on social media, photos with champagne glasses, new cars, luxury vacations. But here's the thing about people like them, greed makes them sloppy. I learned that they cut corners. Shady contracts. Underpaid workers. Hidden debts. All wrapped up in a pretty bow of fake success. And thanks to my new network of legal and financial contacts, I knew exactly where to look. Step 1? I quietly bought up their debt, through a shell company. They had no idea I was the one holding the chains. Step 2? I started feeding information about their shady practices to regulators and journalists. Lawsuits piled up. Investigations drained their cash flow. Step 3? When the walls were closing in, I swooped in as the mystery investor, offering them a lifeline. Desperate and panicked, they signed, ironically, the same kind of contracts they once tricked me into. This time? The fine print transferred controlling interest of their company, straight to me. I'll never forget the meeting where I revealed myself. They sat across from me in a boardroom, faces pale, eyes darting like cornered animals. Mark leaned forward, sweating. "Wait, you? You're the investor?" I nodded slowly. "Funny how paperwork works, isn't it? You taught me that." Claire slammed her hand on the table. "This is illegal. You can't." I slid the contract toward her. "You signed it." Every dotted line. The silence that followed was delicious. For the first time in my life, they were the powerless ones. Within weeks, their cars were repossessed. Their homes foreclosed. Their empire? Gone. And me? I rebuilt. Stronger, smarter, untouchable. Watching them walk out of that office, shoulders slumped, whispers of panic in their voices, it wasn't just victory. It was validation. Every sleepless night, every insult, every ounce of humiliation, it all crystallized into that moment. I didn't just bankrupt them. I outplayed them. Twice over. Sometimes revenge isn't about anger, it's about justice. It's about proving, not to them, but to yourself, that you were always more than what they said you were. My siblings thought they buried me. But all they really did was plant a seed. And I grew back strong enough to burn their whole empire to ash. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button right now. And tell me in the comments, what's the coldest revenge you've ever seen?